this is working, because why would I? Let me just see, this is my first time attempting to do anything like this. So, it seems to be working. Alright, okay. So, I'm unstoppable. I'm unstoppable. I'm unable to stop messing with this guitar. So the last time that you saw it, it had already a very poorly done relic job. I decided to increase the size of this area here because it was like stopping right here, and I felt like it wasn't visually pleasing. I don't know what that actually means, and same thing here, and I polished a little bit more. So this is how it's looking at the moment. I took it out to play on Thursday to an open mic that I run. I was hosting it, and I took it out, and I took out my pedal board with the Rock Jam, the Sonic Cake Rock Jam, that has a cab sim emulation, so it can go directly into a mixer. I'm saying this because a lot of the people that have seen videos on my channel are like the ones that saw my video about should the guitar go into the mixer or into an amp or to an amp sim or something. It's like 6,000 views on a video that I made in 7 minutes, because that's the length of the video. I literally recorded it and uploaded it, no edits. You can see me like messing about. So just shows that it really doesn't matter the edits a lot of the time, at least with a channel like mine where I don't know what I'm doing here. So I just like sharing with you guys. So what happened? So I have the Eastman, right? Oh, it's always good when you hear the neck moving around. I have this Eastman, the Eastman Juliet, right? Let me show you. So this is the Eastman Juliet, is their second original design, and I've made a video about it, which basically, summing it up, states that I'm quite disappointed with how it is and the fact that I don't really enjoy the sound of it and everything. So what I ended up doing was this guitar, the Fazley, when I bought it, it had an Iron Gear Dirty Torque in the bridge pickup, the humbucker, okay, which I liked, and I decided to take it out because I wanted to sell the guitar and keep the bridge pickup. And this one has, or had, a bare knuckle bootcamp true grit, which is the lowest wind sort of pickup that I took out. And then I put the Iron Gear here, and I had this nickel cover, which I didn't put any waxing, any silicone, and anything. This is like microphonic when I tap it, but I soldered it in the back, and it works, and it always starts to feedback when it's like really, really loud. So I'll have to try it live to see how it works. It was a whole mess because I don't know what I'm doing. I'm just like trying things and then seeing if it works and if it doesn't, and I'm just trying stuff out. I'm learning. That's the proper way of stating it. I'm learning how to do these things. But I do like the sound of this guitar now. And while I was trying to do this, I think when I installed it with the splits to ground, meaning that it was completely split. So if you want to have a humbucker that is just split all the time, you ground the extra 2 wires, and it's like that. So if you're like, I wanted like a Telecaster sound on here, and I wanted to have like a single coil with the humbucker shape, you don't need to go and buy one. Just buy one with 4 single coils, like a hot one, I would say. And then you get like a single coil sound right there. Which is, is it useful at the moment? No, but maybe one day I'll want to do that, and I know, and maybe you'll see this and think, oh, that's a good tip for future me. Also, I have this other guitar that has like 2 push pulls. I can talk about this guitar in a video later or today. Although I doubt anyone's going to be seeing this because it's more of a test, so I can go back and see how it sounds and everything. And this pickup is very bright. It's like really bright. At the moment, on the face of it, I have this black pickup from ESP M51, something I had a long time ago. It's actually a neck pickup. It doesn't sound bad, but it's not very inspiring. The neck and single coil, although they are ceramic pickups, they are quite inspiring. They do sound very stylish, but this one is not amazing. And as I showed you before, now I have this. right? So, since I have this, I would be able to put this bare knuckle pickup on a guitar that costs more than the bare knuckle pickup. And we'll have probably the same issue with the poles and the screws. And I don't want to take the neck out because it's very hard to put in and out, and it seems like the screws are going to break on me. And instead of buying new screws and doing this properly, no, I'm going to try to do this the cheap and poor way of loosening the strings, because I don't want to break the strings as well. Strings cost money, and I already spent 2 packs of strings on this guitar. So I'm going to loosen the strings, right? I'm going to remove the pickguard, and I'm going to install this humbucker with this brand new soldering iron from Amazon. This high quality piece of gear here. That's the thing about myself. Like, I spend money on guitars, but then on the tools I won't spend the money. That's probably, I should do it the wrong way around. Like, have proper guitars and proper tools. But no, I'm a guy of quantity over quality, really, because it's like building Lego. I don't know if you guys are into Lego. If you can't see, but I'll show you. Up there, it's like, you can see that. That's the McLaren Lego model, right? That still from out the camera. Camera's my phone. So I bought that for £16 off Timo. No, from TikTok shop. It comes from the same place: Alibaba, TikTok shop, Timo. They all come from the same shops, I think. And I spent 4 days building that with much pain, because since it's not a Lego, it's a bit more crappy. So I do enjoy fiddling with stuff, like building and assembling and all that. So it's, to many people this might sound like really dumb what I'm doing, and it is to a certain extent. It is really dumb, but it's what I enjoy doing, and I know that a lot of people out there are like me, that enjoy doing these things. And as long as you're not like spending your money away or taking time from otherwise important things, I don't see why you shouldn't be able to like what you like. So let's see if this works first and foremost. It would be good if it did. Why did I buy such a cheap soldering iron? You might ask yourself. Like this, that cost me £8. Because my friend Peter, that plays drums with me on our band, Astrodog, our band Astrodog, that has no released music really, or nowhere so you can go to listen to it, but one day we might do, who knows, has a soldering iron just like this, and it works remarkably well. It heats up, it solders when it's supposed to, turns off, there's an on and off button, it's light, it's easy to use, and if it breaks, you can always get another one. So that was my reasoning behind. So now I'm loosening the strings behind the guitar, the tremolo. So there's a bit more leeway on the top when I try to take out this pickguard, because I know that this pickguard is a bit tricky to take out because of the way that sits under. This is not doing anything because the strings are still very much tight. Sits under the neck, 22nd fret. So what I'm going to do is, and it's something that I learned while messing with this guitar, is I'm going to raise the neck pickup, okay, because that gives me a bit of leeway up here, so it's not hitting the cavity. And then I'll need to, well, unscrew the pickup screws, right? Sometimes it's handy. And I'm talking to no one, right? The only person that's watching at the moment is myself. So, but you never know. Maybe in the future someone will watch this and I'll be keeping you company, like other people that I see doing streams. Should I do this more regularly now that I've done it for the first time? The trick with live environments is, like, I have kids and there's noise and you don't see the mess that's all around me. Like, literally, there's mess everywhere on this desk. It's not like a hoarder's mess, it's stuff that I've used and such. Oh, we're getting some heat from the soldering iron. I have this very technical box here of Ferreros. I'll put this way down. And let's try as well use the solder that is provided, which probably is a mistake because it's not flux solder. I have everything that I need, but it's in the garage. That's how the Brits say it. And I don't want to go get it there. So let me just see if I can team the soldering iron with showing. Yes, your mouth is a great purchase tool. Oh yes. Oh yes, right on the desk. It's like the best sandwiches for this to be tortured. I think this solder can be used to team the iron teeth. Now I'm playing here on top of the sponge. The sponge, I don't think it's right. No, it's not that. So what I need to do is get some water. Let me see if I have some water here from. I would do from drinking water the other day. On this mummy cup. It's my wife's cup that I stole. Didn't steal, I just borrowed. Okay, so while I'm not using these, and the electricity is expensive, I'm just going to turn it off. Just leave this on the support. So continuing our mission of unscrewing this pick guard, I'm gonna mess this up. This guitar is working, and you wanna bet what? After I'm gonna have someone contact me to buy it today. I'm like, actually, I changed the pickup, and I've relicked it more. Are you still interested? I'm selling for. I put it up for 150. So I traded at the value. In my mind, the trading value of the guy is like 50 pounds. The trading value was 75 because that's what I wanted to sell the pedal for. 75 pounds. It has a really nice neck. Tuners are a bit crappy. The ones that I put on the Harley Benton T20 tuners do lose tune quite a lot. So, and it's not the nut because it wasn't doing this before. So when I change the strings, I'll put the old tuners back. The black ones that are locked. They probably as well, the ratio is not great. But I was looking at on eBay, adding everything up to see how much it would be to upgrade with pickups and tuners and the whammy bar and pots and a push pull and everything. Like 140 pounds, which it's not a lot of money, but it is a lot of money. It's like that's more than a week's shopping, definitely. That's like clothes for the family. That's lessons. That's studio time. That's so many things that could be used more wisely than on guitar gear that is not valued, because the problem with upgrading a guitar is that you never get that money back, really. You're still live. You're still live. Just letting my wife and children know that I'm live, not alive. Oh, it's not gonna work, is it? This is not gonna work. No. Should I? If I take these strings, if I take the bridge off, would it work? Maybe. Let's try that. Put the cap on the strings here, so they're not bending at the tuner. And then I'm gonna take this off. I know that I can't take the strings off without having to unsolder the back. If you have any questions, let me know. I'm just messing about with this guitar now at the moment. Like I said, I can't stop myself. I'm going to install bareknuckle bootcamp pickup that I took out of the Eastman Juliet, that I thought that it was too unbalanced compared to the neck pickup. The neck pickup is like really full. It's clear, but it's really full. It sounds like a humbucker, right? The neck, the bridge, it's very bright and thin compared to a neck humbucker, but probably compared 2 single coils, it won't be, and since I took out the push-pull from here, or yes, the push-pull from here, probably it means that I'll be in a better position, right, to have a more seamless sound. Now the problem is, obviously, I don't have the right Allen key. Okay, and I'm stuck here doing this live stream that I put on myself. Oh, is it this one? It is! You see? It's a mess, but it's a mess with the system. I have sort of system of always having things that I need to do right, which makes a mess, always having things around. It's my first live stream, as I said, so bear with me. I don't know if the audio is any good. I have the mic here to the side. Probably should be closer to the front, but then you won't be able to see. Okay, so nope. Maybe I need to take off completely the posts to bring the bridge high enough to take out the bridge, then take out the strings. I really enjoy watching live streams and participating in live streams. That's why I thought of doing it now. It gives me company during the day and like when I'm working. But probably the people that I'm watching doing the live streams have more interesting topics. But you have to start somewhere. That's the approach that I have with a lot of things. Like, you have to start even if you don't know. If you're not doing it the best way possible. I'm starting it. Next time, hopefully, I'll be better at doing this. You see? The bridge came off. Meaning that now I can just put over here, probably just dangling on the strings, which I'm sure it's very healthy for the whole guitar. Okay, so now I can pull this out. It's all such fun. Okay, there we go. Hey! Okay, so bridge pickup. That last time was the bane of my existence. Oh, thanks, Punija. Punija is my most reliable subscriber person that watches my videos. Out of everyone online, a guy that has apparently unlimited taps to so many channels. Thank you, I appreciate it. It's a bit of opportunity so you can see me in my normal environment. I don't know why would anyone would like to see that, but here we are. So this has these are ceramic pickups, but they actually sound alright. It has a proper 5-way switch and it has full-sized pots and an orange capacitor. Now I don't know if it's orange just in color or I don't know what orange capacitor. What do people mean with that? Sometimes it's like so it has a bit of duct tape here, which is very professional, and this connection. What is this connection? Okay, so it's grounded. The bridge pickup is grounded here, and it's here on this bit. Okay. But now, what do I need? Pliers. The question is, do I have pliers? No, I do not have pliers. So I'm gonna unsolder this and probably burn myself. So this is a guide how not to do things. How to do things is to have everything at hand in a safe environment. Don't do it just on top of your legs. The Puniji is saying that he doesn't live on a linear time scale. Being an omni-excremental being has its advantages. I'm sure it does. I often feel like an omni-excremental being as well. It's excrement everywhere. So here we are. Now I just need to wait for the soldering iron to reheat. And I'm going to try to desolder these connections that I've made so beautifully. Instead of just try to get a plier. I have scissors, like cooking scissors. And you ask, why do you have cooking scissors in your drawers? Which it is a fair question. It does probably sound like I'm some sort of psychopath, but sometimes it's necessary to use slightly sturdier scissors to cut through things and I already had others that came on set. So, but do I have it at hand while I hold the soldering iron on my left hand? I'm sure that this noise of me opening and closing drawers and going through things. I have to have a pot of Vaseline just in case. There is a little bit of poo in all of that. I think on my phone alone there must be tons of poo because you take your phone with you everywhere, including to the toilet. Obviously, I'm not a savage. What I'm expected to do while on the toilet, so there must be poo everywhere. I just try not to think too much about it. But the poo is not the worst thing in the world. There's more toxic waste going around that you don't need to worry. You don't worry as much about it. Okay, so it's heating up. Oh, okay, it worked. So this is one solder point off. The other one is for the selector. It came off beautifully. Amazing. Alright, now on to soldering on the bridge pick, the boot camp. Okay, so if it goes here, this is the try to very slightly. This is the live one, so the red one is the live one, and then there is two split cards. Ah, yes, of course, I'm gonna have this problem. Of course. The problem is that the metal casing doesn't fit. The metal casing doesn't fit the pick card. Yes, exactly. Kitchen shears can take some abuse. Exactly. I'm not an idiot, as I often think I am. I'm just ahead of my time. I couldn't find the kitchen shears regardless, but I'll need to I'll ask you, probably you'll know. I need to send the pick guards to fit the more squarish shape of the humbucker. Should I do it before or after soldering? Soldering? I probably should. What I should do is mark it with a pen, right? And then sand it. I'll just sand the corners until it feels right. I'm gonna do that before soldering. Soldering? I don't know. Soldar, which is the Portuguese word, which is similar. Okay, and now to sand, I have actually these files. So it's probably not sanding, it's filing. Yeah, I know before solder. Okay, I'll do that. Steamer, they can have different colors for some confusing reason, but if you can hear children crying, it's my dog. But this one hasn't. So how am I gonna do this? I have kids paper, kids marker. Let's try doing that. So I'll put this here. Okay, see you later, Pooh. Pooh Ninja, thank you very much for the company. I appreciate it. So very good question. The proper way of doing things. Using Crayola pens to mark plastic. Now here, just marking to see. Now the question is, does it even fit height-wise? Oh, barely. Barely height-wise. So I need to send the whole thing? I don't know. Sending right on top of the cavity. So filing must be the most annoying sound ever known to humanity, and I'm just here filing away plastic. Plastic usually is too hard to file before, so maybe this won't be as hard as I expect. Wait. And it adds to that relic look of things probably that. The relic look is really intriguing to me because it's like it's a look that someone didn't care for an amount of time. Like guitars didn't take that long to get relic. So it's like, oh, it takes 30 years of continuous like it's not really that. Like if you look at Jimi Hendrix, for example, or Stevie Ray Vaughan or Rory Gallagher, they didn't were playing like for decades before the guitars got like that. It's like a few years of intense playing, and mostly I'm sure I'm not 100% certain of this, but it seems like mostly it's like tour handling. Really, it's the harshness of the roads that takes its toll on the guitars more than like the playing itself, unless you have like really acid sweat like Rory Gallagher seemed to have, um, or if you're playing like violently and bashing your guitar like is it Mike something from Pearl Jam? But I think it's more the touring and carrying them and transporting them and storing them that seems to do most of the damage. Like especially like the dings and the D-bits and those sorts of things. I was thinking about it because I've been made this guitar. All right, thank you, man. See you later then. Go check the tides. The tides are very important. We all need the tides, so thank you for doing that job for all of us. Like I've seen like a lot of the people that don't like relic guitars just don't like beaten up guitars, which is fair. I totally get. I took my wife to a shop the other day, and I was trying to show her. I was showing her relic guitars, but I was trying to make her understand like why would people buy these, which is a bit difficult to explain when everything that you buy otherwise must be pristine. Like you don't go buy a car, it's like, oh, I'm so glad it has dents on it, like shows history, or even other things like even clothes, shoes, like leather shoes. You get them worn in really, or you can do that with some of them, but it's not as common. The comparison is always like with the jeans that have been dirtied and holed up and everything, but with guitars, I think it's a little different, right? Like no one thinks nowadays that someone that is wearing jeans with holes is a hard worker miner that has worn those Levi's for the last 100 shifts. But when you see a musician with a relic guitar or a guitar that seems to have been through hard work and through a lot of battles, I assume that that's an experienced musician, right? That's a guy that has had a lot of gigs and therefore, um, is a veteran of the guitar world, gigging world, a proper musician. So when someone comes along and just poses with a guitar that seems to have beaten up what was actually made in a fabric or by someone at home or by an idiot like me, I get that more than not liking just the finish. I get that more from the idea of like stolen valor. That is what the military personnel call when someone uses a uniform that has never served, right? So it's like you showcasing the scars of a lot of gigs, while in actuality you don't have that experience of. And I think that added up with the blues lawyer thing of like you have money, so you go buy a custom shop and then you show up to a jam night or an open mic with this really beautiful relic guitar, and then you go like, it's like, oh, dude, please get a grip. Which I do get. I get that. Truth be said, a poly guitar, which is usually what this is, even this finish that I did is not nitrocellulose. It's not unique to nitrocellulose to relic. If you have a car, you have dents, you have scratches, and that's relic, but it's an acrylic finish, right? Alright, or whatever. So, a thick, lasting finish that is supposed to look good for many years, it won't relic as it won't relic. It will crack, it will dent, but it won't relic as we often think of relics, right? So that's the counter argument of doing it artificially instead of putting in the time is okay, just get the thing finished and like catch up for all the time that you were not able to be using the that guitar and relicing it, because the guitar was actually made to last. It has a good finish, a good lasting finish that doesn't discolor with the sun, that doesn't flake away, that doesn't have lacquer lines, that doesn't crackle. And we go like, what's that? That's horrible. That's plastic. We want something that gets patina, which is irrational, but it's true. It's true. It's odd, and again, I'm not really able to explain it. If someone is able to explain why, even people that are not from that generation of like noticing like those effects on the guitars, still enjoy it, and there's still that fascination with old things. Even like cars, when you rebuild a car, there's sometimes really awesome vintage cars, but then they get demo ready to go on conventions and stuff. Although I've seen some hot shots that have been hot rod wraps, like rusted. There's like a rust finish now that some car aficionados like doing. So who knows? Like, do your thing, and if you enjoy it, you enjoy it. Just don't try to pass what it's not. Like, I'm not trying to pass this as a custom shop guitar. It's not. It's just me messing around with it, and now making it worse, because once I finish with all this filing away, whenever I put a pickup that is not with the metal enclosure, it's going to look worse than it did before, because before it was really snug, and now it's going to have that squarish shape. I didn't really think this through. I really didn't think this through, but here we go. I'm live for 41 minutes, and a lot of part that is being me filing away, so probably I shouldn't be doing this. Although I've watched like guys work at it. Could this be considered SMR? But if you're not really seeing what I'm doing, let me put you closer so you can see what I'm doing. Maybe you're a bit too close on my face, but let me put you down. The phone doesn't fall. Nope. Apple has this desktop view. I don't know if it would be worth trying. Okay, let's see if my phone doesn't fall to the ground. So you can see, I'm filing here. I'm filing here. Because I want to put this pickup. I want to try this pickup. And before there were uncovered pickups like this that don't need the space. Effectively, it's making it more look like a sir. Poor sir. John Sir, is his name, isn't it? Guy puts all that work, and then someone comes along like me trying to make a copy in the worst possible conditions, putting no work and dedication into it. It's almost an insult. If you have any tips or things that you'd like to see me do on live streams, if there's like a time. I've also thought about doing this in Portuguese, create a whole channel just of Portuguese guitar, because there's not much of it for my, for the people that I actually relate to, because I'm from Portugal, right? So I could, talk stuff from a perspective that they might relate a bit more, because it's always like American and English and people from other countries. There's no one in Portugal that I know that is doing like gear talk really weekly. If there is, let me know. But the reality of it is, I'm emigrated. Like, I emigrated to different countries, so my reality is slightly different than the people that are living in Portugal. Like here I have open mics and I have gigs, which I know that if I was in Portugal living in the outskirts of Lisbon, I wouldn't be able to do. I wouldn't. It's just not something that people do. Like venues, there's no I didn't know of any venues or bars or pubs that would really want to have live music and will be willing to pay for live music. That's why Casas de Fado, which is this like place that you have to book and it's like dinner and live music, is such a unique thing in Lisbon because it's somewhere that you can go and listen to traditional singers perform traditional form of music. Otherwise, it's shows. You know, it's not very common for a guy with a guitar to be just sitting in a corner jamming along, and being paid to do that. Maybe I could get like some free exposure sort of type things in some places that have the space. I don't know. I would like to try that. I would like one day to go to some hours wherever. Like, oh, I'd like to play a gig, like invite my friends that I haven't seen in a while. Although that whole premise of like inviting friends to a gig that you haven't seen in a while, it's more for the after the gig, because during the gig you're playing, you're not talking to anyone. Even like when I play here, I think there's not much point of inviting friends. Oh, come and see me. It's more like come and support me because you know people. I need to show the place that I have an audience, but that gets old really quickly. Especially if the place has expensive drinks and such. Because I don't feel like I'm that good that people would like just to come and see me for no reason at all. I never ever get complaints, to be fair. Like I'm very self-critical. But last time I was playing anyway, oh, you're so good, you're so good. I'm not so good. There's tons of people better than me, and often in the room, like I'm playing and someone comes and wants to sing, and they're much better than me. Especially singing, playing as well. I don't think the trick playing live music is being the best. It's having the gear, like the PA and the mixer and that sort of things. Having a plan of what you're going to do, and being responsible, showing up on time, having connections to get the gigs, being reliable, being respectful. Yeah. And be willing to play music for like entertainment, really. Music that is maybe not as heavy or as personal to you. Like I know some guys are really into heavy metal or hip hop and stuff, and it's really hard to make it work. Like a cocktail bar, for example. Yeah, I'm getting the gist of it. Anybody out there? Somebody to love. Something that I found super helpful, not talking about performing, is singing lessons. It's like the most value that I ever gotten out of anything has been singing lessons. Not that I'm an amazing singer now, but I'm definitely better than I was. And no pedal has ever done that for me. The amount of gear can help you with that. Lessons in general, like anything. Like if you want to learn a language or a skill or anything. Even if it's just having a buddy that helps you. It really is the best way to learn anything. I think. Maybe I'm wrong, but shall we test to see if it's any better? If this has any potential of fitting? Or where do I stand with the fitting of this? Hey, Aaron! How's it going? I'm messing around with this guitar when I shouldn't really. There's no good reason for me to be installing a pickup that it's worth more than the whole guitar, really. A bareknuckle bootcamp that I took out of the Eastman Juliet, because it's a double whammy. Because if I sell this, then I won't have the bareknuckle original pickup to put on that guitar. If I don't sell this, or if I sell this as it is at the moment with the ads is at the moment with this pickup, then I will have to reinstall this pickup later. But I'm curious. I want to know. I need to know. I fell asleep thinking about this, so I must do it. Okay, so does it fit? And no, it needs to be square. Yeah, it needs to be square. So I'm just filing on the internet, which is an activity apparently. I'm filing away downtown, passing past. Fender, what's that? No, this is a F brand. It's Fazley. Don't you know Fazley? The I don't even have a joke about that. It's funny because like I think brands like Fender and Gibson do legitimize you when playing live. I think people that recognize the brands like, oh, this guy's like the real deal. But on the other hand, it also pigeonholes you to a certain style, or can pigeonhole you to a certain style. Like if you see someone with a Telecaster or a Strat or something. But I've been also proven wrong, so I don't know what I'm talking about because I saw these guys, Bliss Band 22. If you go search for them, they're really good. It's like young lads, 17, in college still, and they show up to an open mic with a Telecaster, and they played the best 90s alternative rock Seattle scene, but based in Liverpool that I've seen ever live really. And they were playing a Telecaster, like some sort of Mexican custom order from Guitar because it had the roasted metal neck and whatnot. And they actually like really rocked hard. On the same length, I've seen these guys from Preston show up with the lead guitarist with the Harley Benton ST20 HSS and the bass player the cheapest P bass that Harley Benton does, and they rocked it. They had like really heavy sounds, and the performance and everything was much better than the instruments in themselves. So it's like I think at the end of the day you do whatever you want, but there's no right or wrong really. As long as you like, if you want to play at home and you want to have the Fender and the Gibsons, but I agree. I would like to have that like as in a collection piece. Like, oh, I have like a piece of history here, the brands that made it, which is awesome. If you want to play live and you want to rock those brands as well, cool for you. If you want to play, like I thought oftentimes I thought of I should really be playing lesser known brands because that way there's no pigeonholing and I can play my guitar into a bass octave sound, and no one will be shocked by it because it's not like, oh, I was expecting a Strat, but what's the sound of a Shergold or of a Eastman Juliet or a Fazley that no one knows. So there is more impact there. But you know, it doesn't really matter. It only matters to you, basically. To you, yourself, to me, myself. We are the ones that create these scenarios in our heads. Unless like you are a studio musician and you can tell me, oh no, I went to like do a session and they told me, oh, if you don't have a Gibson Les Paul, don't even bother showing up. Which I heard from in videos, obviously not from a person, because I don't have musician friends like that. But I heard that there used to be a thing like, oh, don't you have like a Telecaster or a Rickenbacker or a Casino? Oh, I want that Beatles sound, get the Casino. Well, Beatles sound is not just a Casino. It's also a Telecaster, it's also Les Paul, it's also Vox, it's also recording techniques. It's not a guitar. But, I never thought that today I'm gonna spend half an hour filing plastic in my office. There's no good reason for me to be doing this. I have so many things to be doing. I actually had a gig today that got cancelled, which sucks. It's really annoying when it happens. But I understand it's hard to get audiences to go to places, and if your place already struggling to justify live music, I don't know how to get people to gigs. If anyone does, like reliably get an audience. How can you reliably get an audience to support you and come see you? Like last gigs, But if you are a working musician and you want to do, sustain yourself, you have to do regular gigs. How can you do regular gigs and still have an audience that comes to your gigs regularly? Don't know. It's at this point that I think, what am I doing? Why did I start this? Why do I do this myself? Why? And most importantly, why am I recording this to the internet? Why would anyone care about the guy sending, filing a pickguard cavity in his office? But again, as I said, maybe I'm just keeping you company. You're just doing something really boring, and you just want someone to be doing something really boring as well. Okay? So the angles, just a bit more, and then it's the width. If I had soldered the picket before, this would have been a big mess. Even bigger mess. And then I just sprayed the plastic particles all over the room. Onto the helix, onto everything else. Very hygienic. Yes, it's a relic. It's a homemade relic. I painted this in 2 days. In this green that I wanted to be Sherwood green, but then turned out I don't know how to read, because I did buy jade green, so it's like a lighter green from the Ford sort of range. And then after many complications, I was like, I'm tired of this guitar, I'm gonna relic. I actually had a friend also like pushing me on, oh, you should relic that, you should relic that. So I did. It's not the worst relic in the world, it's not the best relic in the world by any stretch of the imagination, but the one that I did, okay, this almost fits, just needs a bit more there. Yeah, I used specialist tools, reed, a screwdriver. That dusting, it's too late. I'm already like half polymer right now, because I'm just blowing it out into the room. I'm doing this in my office. I have a garage where I should be doing this, but then I wouldn't have internet connection, and if you're not doing it and streaming it to the internet, what's the point? Now, what's the point of listening to me file away? If I'm annoyed by this filing, I can only imagine what you guys are. I should probably wear a mask, shouldn't I? Like, even if it's like a COVID mask. I had... Oh, I have a COVID mask. Maybe I should put this. I'll put it on. I'll put it on. See ya. Hey, Aaron. Aaron, I have a mask on. I have a mask for the polymer. Don't get all on in your pants. People that are against masks for mask control reasons, whatever. I don't need more credits. But then how do I blow? And this is steaming my glasses. I don't miss these COVID masks. Not one bit. So, again, just to recap, I'm installing a bareknuckle bootcamp on this guitar that I've traded for a pedal that is worth me more then the whole trade. And I have it for sale for 150. Although fail. 150. So well, if it sells for 150, I guess it's fair. But then I'm losing the pickup from the Eastman. Should I just keep this guitar? I should just keep this guitar and sell something else. Why do I keep going on about selling? Because I have a limited amount of space. And I need to hang out my guitars. Because if they don't exist to me, my field of vision, they stop existing. I keep saying Aaron because of that sketch from Key and Peele of the guy that moved from the inner city going around with the names, and that's very hilarious for someone that never lived in America and doesn't understand the social cues that probably it's portraying, and probably it's wrong of me. People were really in their minds. They were really upset. Some people were really upset because I said that this pickup, this pickup was too white, like my town. They don't even know where I live. It's like, what is this white? I don't wanna. Let's not go there. Let's not go there. Let's not go there. I'm trying not to go there. Stainless. I never did a refret, but probably it would be a good idea to learn how to do that. But then again, it requires more tools than probably I would use once and never again. Okay, so this just barely fits. It barely fits. Why do it barely fit? Is it good? Hey, this is I feel very privileged. Is all my fellow YouTuber friends that are much more successful and talented than me joining up. Thank you very much, Steve. This is a good time, right? 2 p.m. on a Saturday afternoon to be doing a live. I'm looking forward for the day that you do a live or create an Instagram or Facebook or something. I want to send you images, appropriate images, let's say. Let's not get ourselves on the wrong foot here, of guitars and things, and like ask about fashion advice. Who else am I supposed to turn to for advice on outfits and straps and accessories? A man has to find their peers. But I'm really enjoying your channel. In the beginning, I was like, why is this guy with the hat and the glasses and the jokes? Like, what's this? But in Portugal we say estranhas depois entranhas, which is you find it strange and then it gets ingrained in you. So I think your channel success is proof of that. Although I think a few of us might have thought like this is a bit different, but you've showcased yourself as a professional, as a professional musician, obviously, as a gigging musician, as a teacher, as being proficient on the guitar, and being very funny overall. So well done. I was thinking like, oh, maybe it's too late. It's too late for. Maybe I'll just turn this around so you don't see the guitar on top. It's too late to start a YouTube channel to be successful on YouTube, but you clearly proved us all wrong. That it's just like all these channels that haven't been growing for a while is just it's the content. The content is king. So will this fit now? Still not quite clearing the width necessary. Let's turn back down this bit here. I even have an appropriate t-shirt that my wife bought, but as you can see, this makes no sense. None of these guitars are like proper brands. Like this is not a ES335. This is not a Les Paul. This is not a Strat. I don't even know what this is. This could be a Strat, but the headstocks are all wrong. I think this is like an Epiphone for some reason. This is an Ibanez Artcore, seemingly. I don't know who decides these t-shirts. Clearly not guitar people. Steve says that his girlfriend, his girlfriend says that the same thing, that it's a nightmare at first, but you get used to it. You know, there's worse things. These skeletons on the wall. So those two guitars. This is the Yamaha Silent nylon guitar, right? You know what this is. You just, and this is a Yamaha steel string guitar. Obviously, the nylon for the Portuguese and the bossa nova and all that, and the steel string for everything else. These are great stage guitars. No one mentioned anything about the mic. Thank you. Let me. Is this better? Is this any better? No. Probably I can also just turn it closer to me, and you don't need to see my face. Most of this video has been looking down regardless, so it doesn't really matter. Let me take off this pop-up filter that's just getting in the way. It's so you don't hear it. So the silent guitars are great because, in my opinion, they don't have any feedback, right? So in small spaces, or if you want to play with a band, like I often play with drums now, it's great to have these guitars that I don't have to worry about feedback at all. These are not acoustic guitars. These are electric guitars with acoustic strings. End of. That's what they're supposed to be like. They're electric guitars, but they have an acoustic voiced preamp, and they have you know, effects and everything. You know what it is, Aaron. Yeah, I like them. I like them for, you know, there's better acoustic guitars, obviously, and there is even proper acoustic. I have an acoustic guitar now. I have a Tanglewood, which is again another really cheap guitar. It was a story that I wanted. I almost made a video yesterday, but I just don't know really how to go about it. Maybe I'll share it here on this stream. So the story about my acoustic guitar, well, I'll send away. If you don't know what I'm doing, Steve, you don't know what I'm doing. I'm going to install this bare knuckle pickup that I took out of my Eastman Juliet to put on this guitar, which is very wise, I know. Because not only I'm not keeping the stock parts to sell the Eastman one day if I want to, but I'm also like putting a pickup that is worth the same as the guitar. So there you go. So my acoustic guitar, it's a Tanglewood. It's not here. It's downstairs in my sitting room, my living room, whatever you want to call it. Come on. I got one precisely because people like yourself, Aaron, that keep going on about the magic of acoustic guitars and the feel and the sound and everything, made me think maybe I need a full body guitar again. I had the Eastman E1 OM that was really good, but I sold that to a friend of mine. That's now he's been playing it, but it always had a bit of feedback issues live. I don't know if it was what it was. So I was looking on Facebook Marketplace for an acoustic guitar, a really cheap one, and I saw one for £60, which anyone in their right mind wouldn't buy an acoustic guitar for £60. But I'm not in the right mind most of the time, probably. So I went. I met the lady that was selling it, and she said it was her husband's guitar. And I noticed that he had a bunch of other guitars in the sitting room and everything. But she said, "Oh, the nurses are going to came earlier, so he'll be able to be with you." So I knew straight away that, you know, it was someone that was struggling with health. And I meet the guy, and he's, you know, tells me that he's really sick, terminal cancer, doesn't have much to live, and you know, it's really touching because you can see that this was a person just like you and me, just someone that you know, likes gear and plays and everything, and even told me that he bought my Boss Katana a while ago. it came to my house, and I remember that obviously, but I couldn't place him because he had lost so much weight and he looks so different. Um, so we chat a little bit because I think that's not the right thing to do, but I don't think we should shame away or like be afraid of talking about things that are difficult as well. So I spoke with the guy for a little bit, and then I even offered like if they needed help selling stuff, I could try to help it, or like organize a fundraising event or something like that. That's still up in the air. I might still do that. But the Tangle with 60 quid, so I think it's fully laminate, because I couldn't find anywhere saying that it was solid back and sides or solid top even. But it sounds really good. It sounds really good to me, at least. And I've had laminate guitars that I really didn't like the sound of, and I've had full solid guitars that I really like the sound. And I play these silent guitars that are a bit of a rip-off, like Aaron says, because they are, you don't feel the vibrations on stage, which is a bit strange. And I've taken two open mics, and other people have played them, and they're like, "Oh, this is odd because I don't hear it like by the stage, especially when it's very quiet." But and new, they're not much more expensive. They're like £200 the most, and but it sounds good. And sometimes it's finding the right guitar and getting it. Yeah, it's really sad. I'm still a bit emotional every time I think about it. I've messaged the wife yesterday because I was thinking about it. It's like, how's he doing? How's Gary doing? He's just a guy like you and me, and one day you can go to the doctor not feeling well, and that's it. You have the big C, and there's nothing to do about it. I even wrote a song. It inspired me to write a song. So hopefully, and I've shared it locally, hopefully it does some good. I don't know. I would like to do something, even if it's like Macmillan Trust or something like that. I don't know if there's like any sort of special association for musicians with cancer. I don't think he was like a performing musician. At least I never got that impression. I think it was just a guy that's, like so many of us, especially online, likes gear and buys and plays, and it's like his hobby. There's nothing wrong with that. So yeah, so that's the story of my acoustic guitar that I now have. It has a really interesting, deep story with it. Life short, yes, indeed. They're not. They are. Do you want me to play it here so people can hear how loud they sound? I once took it thinking, oh, acoustically they were like the strings do ring, but like, even if I pick it up, it's slightly in tune. So I was talking. It's really quiet. I hope they do a version 2 of these guitars. Like you, when you did the review of the Variax, Aaron, the review of the Variax acoustic that they discontinued a long time ago. If they could do something in that same, looking more like an acoustic guitar, slimmer, with feedback protection and proper loading IRs and that sort of thing. I think it will be cool. But then it's again the price of things, and let's be realistic. Live, who's to say? An acoustic guitar is such a beautiful instrument that I really want to have a proper one day. Probably a Martin. Or a Larive or something. I think a Martin, if I was to get like a heirloom guitar, it ends up being a Martin. Similar to why we end up liking Gibsons and Fenders. It's not the original one, it's the most famous one. And the one that our idols, although they're not idols, they're just guys playing guitar, end up playing. So the Eric Claptons and the John Mayer, I really like those models. So yeah. So Puninji is saying human lives are very short but so rich in all the various emotional aspects of existence. Yes, indeed. It's still sad when it ends abruptly or before the normal span. I would say that there's no innovation. Like, for example, those more guitars, the GTRS, and even the P1 and the P2 that now released. I think that's a really smart and practical thing. I think the challenge is not so much to do innovation, is to do innovation that is attractive. I think that's the biggest thing, to me at least, is to see something that is not just a remake or a sequel of old guitars, of vintage guitars like the Vintera line, right? Or the Mike, something I keep forgetting his name. The guy from Pearl Jam that's with the Strat, with the Relic Strat. It's like meeting of both worlds of technology, of new ways of manufacturing, but bringing that improvement then down to cost as well. How was that Martin SC, the one that is like offset? Did you ever try that one, Aaron? Because that seems like innovation and cool, and they have an affordable model, but I don't know if it's any good. I probably should see. I see. Yeah, practical innovation. What you mean by practical innovation? What sort of thing comes to mind when you say that? It's not like better access, or it's like modularity of being able to be in and out. I don't think it's apps because we're all tired of apps. In one hand, like these cheap guitars, like these Harley Bentons and Fazleys and Echo guitars, demonstrate the innovation that you are able to get a playable, gig-ready guitar for not a lot of money, and a lot of these Chinese brands that show up on Amazon in America, particularly, right? As well, prove that it's possible to do a lot, like the e-art guitars and stuff. Like I feel like that's more innovative than what the legacy brands are doing, but people don't want legacy brands to do that, so why would they? I want to use it to give it just gimmick. Yeah, yeah. I think from my limited experience, of how can I say this? My limited experience of gigging. It's all the most difficult thing to me that I found is sound reproduction. So, hearing the sound, feeling the sound in a way that makes you feel inspired without damaging your ears and being a good sound for the audience. I think once we are able to gig so everyone is like comfortable playing and listening, that's the biggest thing. So I don't know how. Probably that's not guitars. It's probably like mixers and PAs. But like guitar wise, with like the helix, I can do anything with the helix. So there's not really a need for the guitar to be doing anything else, in my opinion. Batteries could be a thing that you could implement to do better, but then again, we want more batteries. There's always, like Puninja is saying, more advanced designs like the Parker Fly and the Abasi concept, and the birdfish. I don't know what the birdfish is, but it's like it's out there, and they're like the headless guitars and everything. Again, headless guitars are great. Are they attractive to me? No. So it's that sort of thing. You were mentioning that the carbon necks and the solid stainless why stainless steel frets that were pioneered by Parker now are everywhere, and that's true. There's still a matter of sound and everything. IEMs, including the audience. Yeah, it's like those headphone discotheques, like raves with everyone hears headphones. A few of the places that I play have like the small PA speakers throughout the room, so it didn't need to be as loud I think if you had small PA speakers towards you, a 10-inch monitor towards the audience where we are, so it's a hotspot of sound, and then smaller PAs through the room, in like when you're doing light entertainment, I think that's a great idea. If it's like a venue for a rock band, you know, they have proper speakers and everything. It's just a matter of IMs. But IMs, it removes you a little bit from the audience, like you've mentioned before. And I've noticed that, and I've seen people like mess up with tracks and like the volume on stage when wearing IMs, because then the volume is that. And it's also about spots on stage, like volume hotspots. Like acoustic drums are always acoustic, right? So if you have acoustic drums but you don't have a bass amp, if you don't have a guitar amp, if you don't have or proper monitoring in the front, the drums are always going to sound too loud, right? Or they can sound too loud if the rest of the PA doesn't adjust it. So I don't know how to do that. Yeah, Silent Disco concept for everyone. So I have installed the 3.7. I played around with it a little bit yesterday, and it's I like the prize fighter, which is the Noble's ODR. Yeah, you have a Helix or a HX as well. But I really like that. I think it pairs really well with other overdrives. And the amps, they say that a lot of them are from the Catalyst, and they seem to sound better than at the Catalyst, but it's so much. It's like I'm just trying to limit myself on the things that I'm trying to do, but it's great. So other thing that you're mentioning is a PA system where the audience can connect with AirPods, can listen. That would be cool. Yes, that would be very cool. That's a really good idea. I love that. Yeah, because you could have, like, I'm imagining at a bar or a pub, right? You have the main focus where the music is happening, right? And then you could have your noise cancelling headphones that can have hear through, and you'll be farther away, so you can be still chatting with your friends. But if you're on a table that you're farther away from the band and you couldn't hear, you could just turn on to the Bluetooth or to the frequency, and that's fine. Because I don't need to be like, when I'm playing just by myself, I don't need to be louder than the people talking. I hate. I'm maybe strange. Maybe since I don't drink much and everything, I'm probably a bit strange. I hate having to shout to speak, especially now that I'm singing more, and I really feel damage to my vocal cords when I'm like, "Hey, how's it going?" Like, you can't do that. So I'd rather the volume to be overall quieter, and then even if it was like, each table had like an Alexa or a HomePod or a Google whatever speaker that they could turn on the volume there. I think that would be a really good idea. That could be a really good idea. I'm just gonna wait a couple of weeks until John Cardy figures it out for us. Yes. I don't know. I don't know if I trust him. It's very specific in the sounds. I like the Tone Junkie stuff, but then again, I have to mess about with the amps. The Helix patches, it's always tricky because, again, it always comes back to me on the reproduction. How are you listening back to it? If it's in an amp, what sort of speakers? It's big speakers, small speakers, headphones. It's recording direct to a computer, then it's going to be heard. Not that I know what to do about those sort of things, but it seems like depending on what the setup that the person that is making the patches uses, it varies wildly. So yeah, I don't mind trying it out. Although once I was playing the open mic here at the Waterloo pub in Blackpool, and I took the Helix, and the idea was to play the bass, because the patch on the Helix that I use has the bass separated from the guitar, and that was the idea, to run it. And as I turn it on, it starts rebuilding all the 900 or 1000 patches. So I couldn't play straight away. It's like someone else come up please and play while I wait for this to do this. And then I eventually go to play and it didn't make any sound. So it can fart on you. It can have like a moment and you get no sound whatsoever from the Helix. So I had to use the backline amp that they had, which was fine, really. In retrospect, it was fine. It's just depending on it. So that's why I have the Catalyst, and that was the plan. Is like, if I ever, like, if the Helix ever fails me, I'll have an amp that can still make some sounds. Obviously, I'll lose the bass portion of the split signal, but I can still play a gig or whatever. And a lot of these open mics that I do are mini gigs. Are, you know, a lot. I hear people saying that in London they do gigs that are 5 songs. That's what I've done in these open mics, you know, for a long while, and I really feel like it has helped me grow as a musician, like in the last year. So I don't want to diss on them because of that. This is really interesting, guys. Thank you so much for keeping me company this afternoon. You could have a band and a DJ in one place at the same time, and yeah, you can tune in to like, oh, I want to listen to the DJ, what's he playing, or to the band. One view request app so people can boost selections if required. Electronic drums required, yeah, but they're not as fun for a lot of the drummers. You could like, it's like a live stream. The person logs in and the stage lights react to the people reacting on the app if they're enjoying it or not, and then you have to like change. You know, there's fun concepts, but the problem is like trying to do that with no audience must be really soul crushing. Monitoring is important. The helix is easy to dial in all facts, all truths, in my opinion. But monitoring is very important. I haven't figured out the IM thing, but because I like the sound and I want to have that sound around me, so people can also hear it from my perspective. I've heard so many my rack died stories over the years. Yeah, I guess that's basically where I'm getting at. But so can cables, and so can like pedal boards. It's not infallible, right? I went to gig last week, Aaron says, and the guitar was straight into the PA. It was actually fine. Yeah, I've played a couple of gigs like that. Like I have the helix, but the other is like, no, I'm just gonna take the silent guitar, plug into the PA, plug the mic into the PA, and not into the PA. Sorry, it was into the mixer. Maybe when I say PA, does the PA have like comp and EQ? But it's a lot of the times it's fine that we get gear and we use gear because it satisfies us more than anything else. And a lot of the things have already been thought out by the people that designed the gear. Steve here is mentioning as well that he uses his HX Live with IEMs, but at home through an old Yamaha Stage Pass, which I much prefer to sound at home. Yeah, there's, you know, the whole adage of you hear the mic through the speaker, and like when recording an amp, you get the mic and the air and the speaker and everything. There's the we should get into tone air. Fill your venue with tone air. With rarefied air that sounds better. I think that the way that our ears process the sound coming from outside into the ear canal must be different than when we have IEMs. With IEMs, which I have here, right? If I can, they show up. I have this CCA. I think it's like CCA C12, so it has 12 drivers, but they're like 25 quid from China. So they're not great, right? They're not professional grade Shores or anything. But when I adjust the cabs to have a cut at like 5k, which probably it's too low, but I like it that way. It's great. I've practiced here. Just sometimes getting that volume, with volume and impact without hurting. I do struggle with that. It adds up that he's been using IAMs for 2 years, still doesn't love the sound, can argue with the convenience. Yeah, Aaron says that he now loves the IAMs, the new good ones. So maybe we're gonna get some recommendations from him. This live has been going for 78 minutes. And I still haven't filed this, but I'm loving it. Thank you so much. If you need to go, by all means, don't stay for my cause. But I would like to see if I could install this. I'll probably just install it faster if I wasn't here chatting away and trying to host these conversions of YouTubers. But it's too much fun. It's too much fun. Yeah, when I started with the band, the bass player Will was driving for us to use IAMs, and we got like cheaper ones, and I have the wireless in-ear monitor system from Gear for Music. But then the noise and setting it up, and then not being able to hear when talking with the drummer and everything, it all made it a bit sour, in my opinion. I didn't really enjoy the process, so I just quit on it and prefer to use PA tops as monitors when gigging. And when gigging again, like when I go play at Bootleg or Waterloo, which are proper live venues,
I don't have any issues with monitoring because the monitoring is provided. The only thing that I have issues with is the levels that they provide from the desk, but I guess that's universal, right? Uh, I did do a gig the other day where there was no sound guy, so it was like a band gig with no sound guy, which is pretty crazy if you think about it. And it didn't go particularly well. It almost sounded like a drum backing track because the guitar was too low. The voice wasn't too bad, but the guitar was definitely too low. But then again, we live and we learn, and it's not the end of the world. It's a bit devastating, but there's worse things. I'm trying to be more content with what I do. So the Shure SE535, and how much are those? I also use the wireless IM pack, which it sounds worse, but again, convenience. Yeah, exactly. I think like if you are stuck, if you are playing in just one position, there should be more usage of those wired packs, like a long XLR cable to your belt and be done with it instead of trying to figure out frequencies and everything. Most of the time, as guitarists or singers, we are just stuck in one position. It's next to the mic, so I would like to see if that will be like a good alternative. The Shures is I'm just gonna try checking a different tab because those Shures are not like cheapest one that everyone says that they break, right? So sure S, what is it? SE535. SE535. Those are 369 from GAC or PMT. So 370 pounds. But Aaron says it's worth every penny. And Shure makes like the mics, right? So, and it's like an audio company, so it's obvious that there's going to be a massive difference between their entry level stuff and their pro gear. Probably you still need to dial your tone to fit the IEMs that you're using. I guess that's also the thing, like whatever you're using. But then, is there a big difference between the sound that needs to come to your IEM and the sound that can go to general PA, or is it just fine? Wired is fine as well. Yeah, I think I'll try the wired system. There's like the Behringer adapters that you can put on your belt. I think I might try that one day. So it might work well because I'm stuck to the mic. I'll move a little bit, but I also have a guitar cable. So having a guitar cable and having a in-ear cable won't be too bad. But will it look nice though? Will I need to get IEMs that match my outfit, my stage outfit? Probably I should look into that. Maybe some white ones. What you say, Steve? Yeah, Steve is saying that's a bit pricey. They probably for themselves about 4 years of gigs. Yeah. Especially if you're playing in a band. Like, yeah, I got 25 pounds, so 25 pounds every 3 months. That's about 100 pounds a year. So yeah, 5 years. That makes sense. The KZs, yeah, the KZs are I've heard good things about them. Use is also an option, obviously, makes sense. I'm just reading from the chat, that's why I'm looking over there. Which Aaron says that the KZs are good for the price, but there's no comparison for the Shures. And there's a comparison video, so go check Aaron Short Music for more. Aaron is the guy that whenever we have a doubt or a query about performing live, especially if you are like a solo artist playing acoustic sets, is the guy that will show up on your feed, undoubtedly. I think it's like hundreds of times that has happened to me now. It's like, I don't know how to do this. Aaron already covered it 5 years ago. It's like, oh yeah, he's a proper one. He's a real one. Oh, this is so boring. Filing, I mean. Should I have used like a power tool? Like a power drill? I should have used a power drill. I don't know how, but I'm sure it would make my life easier somehow. Okay, so now I need, this is the worst place to stand now. The top left corner of the humbucker. So let me show you. So I've already done. It's gonna fall. It's gonna fall. Stay. Okay. I already did this corner, right? And I've already did this corner, right? And then I've done this corner. So now I need to do this corner and slightly. And I'm doing. Let's see. The space Dremel. Oh yeah, Dremel. Of course. Do I have a Dremel bit? I don't, but Lidl has a Dremel bit. So now I need to really sand the bottom, otherwise this won't be centered. Okay. Dremel was too. You know, I used my wife did nails, like beauty statistician sort of work for a little while, and she has a Dremel with a rotary tool. Should I go get it? Probably I should go get it, or to finish this job. But then I'm almost there, and I'm enjoying this conversation so much. Connecting worlds. How didn't Steve know about Aaron? No, Aaron. Yeah, Steve is definitely a top guy and really knowledgeable. You should do a live together on the Mondays. Aaron does the lives on Mondays at around 9 p.m. UK. Always really interesting stuff. I'm getting knocks on the door. I think my daughter wants her dad back. Yeah, Diana? No, maybe not. She just spiked. I wanted to share the results of this installation, but this is like going for 86 minutes. I think we'll have to close soon, otherwise people will be very bored of seeing me talk. Not that it matters really. Not that it matters. It will be as long as it will be. I have a party to attend later on, some friends' wedding anniversary, and I volunteered to take my PA and mixer and everything. I think this is one of the beauties of being not industry, being an entertainer sort of thing, is that it can still be used for friends and family. Obviously, I'm sure it gets annoying if people are always expecting you to do that, but if I can volunteer my time and my gear that I already bought and already spent, at least it's with purpose. For dog's nails. He was not so cool at all with it. Yeah, I'm sure that the dog didn't like the zzz noise approaching his paw. Well, Aaron has Strats. He has Strats. He has Fender Strats, proper Strats, not this cheap stuff that we buy. Probably it's because it's not cheap gear that he tends to review. Since he's in America, he doesn't do a lot of like the Harley Bentons and stuff like that, which I'm assuming that that's the sort of content that you enjoy as well. Given that like Definitive for the novice noisemaker, the guy that likes the Chapmans and John Robson, that likes a lot of things obviously, but he has made a lot of content around Fazley and Harley Benton and other brands, and the Punk Guy, the Budget Guitar Show. I follow them all. I follow everyone. It's hard to keep on top of everything, but Iron Man Strat now is a Sir. Oh, tell me more about your Sir. Why did you do the? Do you feel like Fender is not cutting it anymore? You need to take a step above. Is it what everyone says, that's like the perfect guitar that has no flaws, but with soul? Well, it's a good thing that this is already a relic, because I just didn't the finish a bit more, trying to find it like this. Yeah, I'm just digging stuff at the moment. I must ask this, okay? All right, I must ask this, Aaron, and feel free to completely ignore this question. But regarding here, do you get these really nice pieces of gear? Like you've said publicly that you got the Noel Gallagher ES355 or whatever it is, and the audio guitars that are like expensive guitars. Are the gigs that you're doing justifying that, or you just get it like all of us that you enjoy having these guitars, irregardless of your job? It's like the job is an aspect of it, but then like in my own private life, my hobby is to make videos and to enjoy gear and all those things. Or is it just, or like are the gigs in America that much better than in the UK that you can actually make a comfortable living out of doing it? Not that I'm thinking of moving to America because I'm not insane. But just I'm really curious. It's something that I've wondered from watching people online talk about that stuff. And we are like, what's it say? 90 minutes in. No one's gonna watch this on repost. So you're free to tell us your tax results and everything. you're so sorry. So like back up just a little bit. Punaja was mentioning I used to on my fingernail. It doesn't hurt or burn. It's just the sound and vibration that freak him out. Yeah, it's like with kids, right? Pets and kids are kids are just have the potential to become humans one day, but they're basically pets. Pender and Martin more for the legacy. Aaron says, yeah, there's something to be said about that. Like, it's what you see in the movies, it's what you see, it's what you identify with. It's legacy. It's a powerful thing. Steve is dreaming about having a Sir one day. Well, we have our Fazleys. It's basically the same, really. And Aaron does mention that PRSSC stuff is on sale and like they are great guitars. I've played a few. I've had a few SCs and I've played them. They all just feel a bit plasticky. It's just like, don't know. It just feels like a really like a replica of a guitar, not a real guitar. Which can be said about audio guitars, but it's just. Paul goes on about like the quality and everything, and then it just produces these guitars that are so uninspiring to me. They're really good. They're good guitars, but they don't sound particularly inspiring. It's one of those things that I feel like I need to change the pickup straight away, and I don't want to do that. Although you do mention that you just want to solid stainless steel frets, but for stainless steel frets, why not get there's always the Harley Bentons, but audio guitars and get a plaque or a setup. It's not the only reason, I'm sure. I think like I can see. I've dreamed about having a Sir as well because it's like it's the improvement upon the classic design. It has some heritage as well because John Sir worked in the custom shop and then did this, and there are great players playing it. Amongst some are like Matheus Azato, which is that Brazilian guy, and that's really good. So, you know. Steve is telling us that he's working. This is a scoop on the Fender versus Jet. I've never played a Jet, I'll be honest. So if it's similar to this, again, Jet has a better track record than many other brands with pictures. But what's the deal with guitars having such bad photography? I don't get it. Why wouldn't they invest of having proper photo sessions with their guitars? To make it look good and cool and because that's the thing that legacy brands often have. It's like the imagery. So these new brands need to provide us with that same imagery. I don't understand why they don't do that. Aaron confesses that I'm trying to like narrate that it's lately has been considering going down a few guitars that I use all the time. Down to a few guitars that I use all the time. Yeah, makes sense. It's a cycle, isn't it? But the reliable, the Source have solid straight frets, and it has some amazing guitars that I don't play them. It's all in the mind. It's all here. It is. Our minds are powerful things, and justify ourselves a lot of decisions that sometimes there's no logical reason. Puninja mentions that he can't justify buying expensive gear unless I can pay it for itself in some way. But as I said, I just dropped £200 on a Boss DF2, which is the DF. Is the noise one? Because it's my first pedal nostalgia, I guess counts. DF2, I don't know what it is. Aaron mentioned that legacy nostalgia audience cares about is the song. And he also says that Sir doesn't even have a plaque, and plaque is overrated. It is, you know. I saw the video that Anderton's did on Gibson, and I had to work on ignoring Lee's fanboying, but they were explaining why they have plaque machines, and I think it's the most honest reason is because they can have 4 guys working the machines instead of having all those luthiers required to do the setups. But the machines are so expensive. When does it become logical monetarily to have the plaque machines and to buy the updates and to do those things, that because it's like a subscription as well, I think, that justifies you having the plaque machine instead of luthiers? And wouldn't it be better to have luthiers on an heritage brand, since it justifies and it has such a high cost? Like, it's not impossible for guitars to be done. Like, oh, the consistency. Yeah, but maybe create conditions that people aren't. I don't know. I guess it goes a bit into politics there, so I don't know. The pre-lawsuit super distortion feedback, I got it. I didn't remember how quiet the output was, but it was a very smooth saturation. Sounds sweet, especially for this sort of thing. So I basically got the GS400 on my lap right now. Like, and that's the thing. I look at this guitar and I find it really pleasing, like the pickguard shape really pleasing. But when I look at the pictures of the JS400 and even the faceless Finicas, they always looked like fat, like the pickguards were too fat. But they aren't. They're normal. And I've seen other guitars do the same thing. It's like, especially Thomann should win an award for the worst pictures to advertise, like worst advertisement pictures ever. Like all their guitars that they have pictures of look way worse on the pictures than they do in real life. Punija mentions that the Google Luthier can just get good results without robots and radar. Yeah, without experience and everything. Plaque is good for production. Yes, I guess. Yeah, that's the thing, right? It's a tool for production. I don't think it should be mandatory. Guitars should, like you've mentioned a couple of times there, that is it Martin that plaques their guitars and then Sweetwater plaques the guitars again? It's like, what are we doing? Shouldn't we get it right just the first time around? It's a balance of cost and what the customer is willing to pay and what the companies are willing to produce and profits and all those things. And the fact to be said is that if you go and buy this guitar from a guy building it semi-professionally, all these things are much more expensive, right? Like an acoustic guitar made by a luthier that makes 10 guitars a year. It's like thousands upon thousands. It's a whole world. It's a whole different world of cost. So for us to be able to have even guitars on the £3,000 from Martin that are flagships, it makes sense that they're gonna have to have some sacrifices. For Gibson to have Les Pauls that are under £2,000, there has to be some sort of leeway, because they're not just paying for the guitars of the product, but it also pays for like their app and their artists' endorsements and the contracts and the lawyers and the advertisement and the product placements and the trips for the sales reps and everything. It's like you're not buying a guitar and paying for the cost of woods and pickups and metal, right? The tooling, the factory, the rents, everything. A plaque guitar still buzzes if you play it hard enough. And that's the other thing that I've noticed, that like will play guitar, right? And I'm breathing all this plastic. I'll play guitar and I think, oh, this guitar sounds great, plays great. And then I give it to a friend of mine and they're like, and everything buzzes, because I've set it up to how I like it and how I play it, and I know how to play that, and it's like my personal touch. But someone else will have a completely different interaction with the guitar because they have different strength in the hand, the way that they press, the way that they bend, the way that they do everything. So how can you plex something that is suitable for everyone and be really good? Like if you put the action really, really low, that's great for some, but if you're like playing chords most of the song like I do, or like a Foo Fighters song or anything, it's like that's going to buzz and kill really the tone for me. So in that regard, I'd rather have a luthier that I can talk to and say, can you just give it, like, make it bend 1.5 steps every time, everywhere, but the action just needs to be 2 meters high because I don't want it any lower, because the way that I play, I'll like not throw it out of tune, but it's too hard. The robots are taking over and there's nothing you can do to stop it. Skynet, Hail Megatron, just in case he raises. Yes, of course, yes. AI is our friend. Sam Altman from OpenAI was just fired yesterday. That's crazy. The world is crazy right now. Let's just assume that the world is crazy and we're all going to be replaced soon. But hopefully, so you can do more humane jobs. Sure, he says. The color looks so much better in person if they're Hollywood and stuff. Maybe that's another way that they save money. No color grading in there, probably. It's just like the purple CST, like the PRSSC copy, the custom 24 copy. It looks absolutely horrible on the website, and then you go see the pictures, and it looks fine. Like all the guitars that they have always look horrible on the website to me, and then they see them like in videos and other pictures that people take on Facebook when they share when they get it. It's always much better. I even commented this with my wife the other day. I was like, how is this possible? I don't get it. Maybe I don't know. Machines will remember. That's why I always ask my Google speaker, please, at the end of every request, like, can you tell me the weather, please? Could you play white noise, please? Remember, Google, I asked you, please. I was nice to you. I didn't insult you. I'm so close. So close of getting a breathing infection, and my battery is at 20%, so soon my phone will die and we'll never know, and I'll have to like send you individually pictures, except to Steve, because Steve doesn't have social media. Neither, I don't know if Kuninja has like Facebooks and Instagrams, but I'll just post a video of the results. The video about this guitar has been my most successful video for a while, like really oddly. It's always the videos that I don't expect to do well that somehow get some traction. I guess I should have known, because it's a cheaper guitar with a modern refinish, which are things that I also enjoy watching, so I guess it makes sense to see someone else's mistakes. It's always better than trying your own. Setup is personal and you have to learn the particular instrument. Absolutely. It's like trying to make every guitar be the same. It's also a bit folly, isn't it? It's also like unrealistic. Nope. So the bottom is done. It's just the top now, and it's filing. The SC I got, the bending looked horrible online. The bending. What do you mean by bending? The binding looked horrible online. It looks either in person. No elephants were harmed in my guitar. How do you know? How do you know no elephants were harmed? Maybe they have elephants that they whip just to get a kick out of it. Yeah, I don't get that. But it's not like I have Fret King guitars, which is a brand that I wanted to make videos about, but I don't know if it's going to make any sense because no one knows what they are, and they are in mid-range hell, which is like between 500 and 1,000 pounds. I think guitars are really are really hell place for guitars to exist, because you're competing with so many other brands and you have to have some sort of, I don't even know, but pictures again, horrible. Well, Steve, thank you so much for your company. I'll be out soon as well, and this has really been interesting. Maybe I should do more regular streams, but maybe less time, because I don't think I have 2 hours every week to spend here. I'm sure that my wife will remember me that, and with reason. And you have to go pick up your zebra from work. Obviously, the zebra's been very busy. I'll let you know on an update. Actually, let's do the following. I'll end the stream now here. We've been great keeping me company. I think Aaron might have left as well. I don't know. But thank you so much for the company that you've kept me this afternoon. I'm going to really try to get this done today. And if nothing else, I'll just post like a short clip, short whatever it's called, on my YouTube channel, just to show you if it's working. If I can manage to get it to work. I have a suspicion that this bootcamp, this bare knuckle pickup, has a problem, and that's why it sounds so low. But we'll see. Okay. Again, guys, thank you so much for watching all of these, whatever this was. It was my first try as a stream, really. And I'll see you all next time. Take care of yourselves. Take care. Take care. How do I stop a stream? I don't know. Stop streaming. Okay. Bye.